Collecting Social Security while you are still making money comes with a set of rules that, if you don't understand, can quietly siphon thousands of dollars from your benefits. The video covers everything about working and receiving Social Security in 2026, including income restrictions that trigger benefit cuts, hidden tax traps, and a new law that has reshaped the Social Security system for millions of people. Retirement benefits are available from age 62. But the problem is, anyone who still earns income from work or self-employment but has not yet reached full retirement age will face automatic benefit cuts once their income exceeds a certain threshold. Most of the people watching the film retire at 67. The Social Security Bureau enforces this policy through a method called the Retirement Income Test, which is stumbled upon every year by a staggering number of people who did not foresee its arrival. Before we dive in, watch the timing quickly. The annual income limits and cost of living adjustments were announced by the SSA in the fall around October. The numbers for 2026 will decline around October 2025, which means they appear after the numbers I am about to see. Everything here uses confirmed 2025 data to accurately explain how the system works. And once the mechanism is clicked in place, you can swap the actual dollar amount in 2026. Structure matters more than numbers, and it doesn't move. Now, the earnings test, most of the confusion and most of the money lost lives there. $23,400 a year. This is equivalent to the 2025 income limit for people under retirement age throughout the year, and every $2 earned above that limit triggers a $1 withholding benefit. To make this concrete, before the FRA puts you over the line of $6,600, it pulls in $30,000 while collecting Social Security, which means the SSA retains $3,300 in benefits. Real gold and silver, quietly turning. In the calendar year when you actually reach full retirement age, a friendlier threshold follows. In 2025, the figure dropped to $62,160, and the withholding tax rate softened to $1 for every 3 months of income over the limit, including only income from the month before you reach the FRA. Once the full retirement age is reached, the test is completely canceled. Earning $1 million at that moment doesn't change your Social Security check, because no deductions apply at all. This is the turning point of the story, because the parts that nobody mentioned rewrite the whole calculation. The money withheld in the earnings test will not disappear when full retirement age is reached. The Social Security Bureau recalculates and refunds a loan every month. After filing an age 62, the 12-month benefit is postponed for several years, which means that your FRA benefit will be recalculated, just as you did at age 63, which means that monthly checks will always be higher for the rest of your life. Few people are aware of this recalculation, which completely redefines whether early collection really costs you anything in the long run. What qualifies as income in this test can also be confusing, mainly because too many sources of income don't count. Only employment wages and net self-employed income are included. Withdrawals from 401k or ERA are not included, as are dividends, interest, capital gains, pensions, annuities, government retirement benefits, and rental income in most cases. Benefits for 63-year-olds, financed mostly from investments and retirement accounts, may not trigger the earnings test at all. It is worth noting that this is also a special first-year rule for people who retire in the middle of the year. Retiring halfway through a calendar year allows the SSA to apply for monthly testing instead of annual testing. According to 2025 data, any month with income below $1,950 means full benefit payments for that month, even if total annual income exceeds the annual cap. The rule exists to protect those who earn well by June, and then retire and receive benefits from July. Now the tax side, combined with warnings of fairness, is often infuriating. No issuance is required to pass the earnings test to provide zero federal income tax protection for your benefits. Your Social Security can still fall on your tax return, and the threshold for deciding when to do so is frozen antiquities from different economic eras. The combined income of this calculation means adjusted total income, plus non-taxable interest, plus half of Social Security benefits. A single filer with consolidated income between $25,000 and $34,000 would see up to 50% of benefits taxed, while any project north of $34,000 would push the exposure up to 85%. For married couples who file together, 50% of the tiers range from $32,000 to $44,000. and 85% are active, above $44,000. What is vexing is when the numbers were written. Congress locked the $25,000 and $32,000 thresholds in 1983, increased them by 85% in 1993, and never indexed any of them to inflation, not once in more than 40 years. Back in 1983, a combined income of $25,000 meant a comfortable family. Today, it can barely clear the poverty line in much of the country, which is why 56% of Social Security households now pay federal taxes on at least some of their benefits, a proportion that balloons every year as wages rise relative to the dollar they refuse to budge. The total abolition of the federal Social Security tax became Donald Trump's campaign promise during the 2024 presidential election. As of early 2025, no legislation enacting the bill had been signed. But if any legislation is passed after that, your tax situation in 26th of May look very different, which is worth studying. As for one of the biggest structural reforms in effect, it has reshaped the interests of millions of Americans. On the 5th of January, 2025, President Biden signed the Social Security Equity Act into law. Two provisions that slashed certain worker benefits for decades were abruptly repealed: the Windfall Elimination Clause and the Government Pension Offset. WEPI has been cutting Social Security for anyone who receives a pension from work outside the Social Security system, a category that includes certain state and local government employees, as well as some teachers, police officers, and firefighters. The GPO went further, reducing or eliminating spouse and survivors benefits for these workers altogether. In between, about 2.1 million beneficiaries absorbed the reduced checks. Bipartisan support has given this rare support in Congress. In November 2024, the House voted 327 to 75, followed by the Senate by 76 to 20. Under the new law, retired public officials, their spouses and survivors, will receive more meaningful benefits. The processing of retroactive payments and benefit adjustments falls to the SA, although full implementation will take months. One more thing to watch, because it masks every conversation about the future of Social Security. According to the 2024 Trustee Report, pension and survivors insurance trusts can provide full planned benefits by 2033. After that year, if Congress did nothing, the rolling payroll tax would cover about 79% of planned payments. The OASI fund is combined with the Disability Insurance Fund to extend this timetable to 2035, with a depleted coverage rate of about 83%. Social Security bankruptcy is still a myth of refusing to withdraw from circulation. A real funding gap does exist, and a Congress needs to close it over the next decade. The solutions include raising payroll taxes, raising the retirement age, conducting economic surveys, or adjusting Coke recipes. Foley disappeared entirely from the list. There is certainty that the rules will change, which is why keeping up with these things pays off. All of this is for everyone who works while receiving Social Security benefits in 2026. Income above the annual cap before the full retirement age triggers temporary benefit cuts, and a higher, softer cap applies the year you reach the FRA. And once you cross that age, there is no income cap at all. After the FRA, every dollar withheld is credited back as a higher monthly benefit, with only wage and self-employed income inflow tests, not investments, retirement accounts, pensions. In addition, if combined income exceeds a threshold that has not changed since the Reagan and Clinton administrations, federal income taxes could fall on your benefits. Look at the $2,026 amount confirmed on ss.gov and examine how the Social Security Equity Act and any new tax legislation may reshape your personal situation. If you find this useful, subscriptions help, because I'll break it down completely so that unexplained rules don't quietly cost you money. See you next time.